couple years ago, I was on a long bus ride, and I started playing this game on my phone called Angry Birds. Heard a lot about it, hadn't tried it, and I never wanted that bus ride to end. It is, in fact, number 86 on our greatest video games of all time, and you think we're going to get a lot of hate mail on this one.
Well, I think this is possibly a little bit of a shocker for some people because, you know, we constantly make fun of it, and it is constantly derided. It's so ubiquitous. It's almost like McDonald's food at this point. I think there's probably some kind of Angry Birds McDonald's partnership happening right now.
Well, we've come full circle because now when you go to the electronics store, the Angry Birds toys have been remaindered. You can pick them up for like 5 cents.
Angry Birds Star Wars 2, there will be a whole bunch of toys associated with that, very Disney Infinity-esque.
This is what people don't remember, though, is that no game had really sort of arrived on the phones the way that this one did, and no game really has broken down barriers and sort of has been a game that my mom would play and that I would also play.
Billions of people
and enjoy and obsess over and think about. I'd never played a game on my phone before that I thought about when I powered it down the way that I did with Angry Birds. I love this game. I love the personalities of all the different birds. I love the inventiveness of the levels. I love the physics in the game. I'd never seen these kind of physics in a handheld game before.
Well, and we're going to talk about some other touch-based games, other games that are on mobile platforms in this list for sure, because we are fans of quite a few of these games. But this was the one that crossed over. This was the game that really caused the game industry to start paying attention to iOS and Android as viable platforms. It really made a huge company out of Rovio, which had been around for a very long time.
These guys had labored in obscurity for many years, and then suddenly you'd go to game events, and these guys were like princes of the place.
Megastars.
And then the other thing that this game did is it was the first game to launch 1 million knockoffs. And it really started the knockoff era in portable gaming. There were Angry Bugs and Angry Kites and Angry Pigs.
And that 3-star pattern and all of the sort of little extra hidden collections.
That didn't exist until this game existed.
Yeah. Now here's a look back at some of the Angry Birds reviews we've had on the show.
Angry Birds HD on the iPad, the upgraded version of the iPhone game here. So basically the birds are angry at the green pigs who have stolen their eggs. And yes, really. And somehow built these crazy elaborate structures all around them. And the birds have to crash into them to destroy them and kill the pigs. But it's just a great game. I mean, the level design is ingenious. There's wood, there's stone, there's boulders, and each of the birds have different abilities.
This game reminds me a lot of Boom Blocks for the Wii. It's kind of a two-dimensional Boom Blocks in that you're trying to sort of suss out the weak point on these structures and trying to demolish the structures using as few birds as possible, because if you have birds left over, you get points added to your score after.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, you can just sort of luck and bash your way through a level. However, you know, you get graded afterward between 1 to 3 stars, and really there is sort of a right way to knock down the structure. So there is definitely a lot of strategy involved.
It looks really good on the iPad,
but the graphics aren't that amazing.
Yeah, and the graphics aren't the thing here, right? It's the gameplay and the game mechanics, which are just so addictive. After you played it for a while, you start to figure out, okay, if I come at this angle from above, I'm going to hit it this way. This is sort of the weak part of the structure to knock it down. There's even a certain physics to the pigs, so that if stuff drops on them, they get bruised. If enough stuff drops on them, that's when they get killed. It's amazing they packed sort of all this stuff beneath the surface of the game, yet it just looks so simple and cartoony.
God, there's 105 levels in the thing. There's a ton of gameplay.
A lot of people who have known me for many years know how much I absolutely love Star Wars. Today we are talking about Angry Birds Star Wars. This mashes up one of my favorite things with Angry Birds. It's a very strange sum of the two, I think. Here's my whole thought process going into Angry Birds Star Wars. First of all, why does this stupid game exist? 2, I don't really like this game at all. 3, I love this game. What's neat is that the structures that these pigs have built look like Star Wars structures. So you've got things like moisture evaporators, there's sand crawlers as well, which is weird because the Tusken Raiders are in it and it's not Jawas that you're fighting. But I guess the Jawas are good guys. So as you progress through the story, the structures get a little more complicated. You learn more things. So like Luke originally doesn't have his lightsaber, but then once you meet the Obi-Wan bird, you get a lightsaber so you could tap and kind of swing that out and break a few things.
Yes, and then Obi-Wan uses the Force.
Yeah.
Well, it's really cool cool just because you're not just throwing the birds into a mess and hitting piggies or hitting blocks to then hit piggies. You're not just doing that. It's gameplay all the way through. It isn't just fling and forget.
Yeah.
It's really cool because you're always strategizing, and it's really difficult to get 3 stars. It's really difficult to get 2 stars in this game, never mind 3. They took the physics from Angry Birds and then Angry Birds Space. They just married it and put it together for this game, and they just added the Star Wars twist, which I thought was fantastic.
So congratulations, number 86, Angry Birds. You are a hell of a game.
Take that, pigs. Suck it.